TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Did you, Hall and Nash, have heat when you went to WCW? Did you guys put it all aside?
No, when I was talking to Kevin Sullivan about going, all of a sudden, like out of the blue one day, I have a phone call and Kevin Nash. I'm like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Hey, listen, dude." He's like, "No, we had heat before." He's like, "It was, childish bullshit. I hope you're not, mad at me." I'm like, "Well, I got a house I got to pay for. Last thing I want to do is not get a job, so I'm fucking mad at Kevin Nash." He was like, "I just want you to know." He's like, "I'm not going to try and hold you from coming in." He's like, "We need, somebody who can, who can work." So I'd love to have you. And we got there. He was fantastic, and we've been, not super tight, but I mean, we're friends. And I hadn't talked to Scott. Last time I saw him was when me and Shane kicked him out of that show in Orlando. When he came to the ECW show, and we kicked him out.
I remember that. Yeah.
So I get to the Nitro one night, and everybody's coming back from Germany, and Scott missed the plane. He was going to be detained in the airport or some kind of shit. He gets there really, really late. He walks in, and we're in Philly, where the catering room has all those mirrors around it. So me and Tammy sit down. Kevin sits down. He's talking, being cool, and there's an empty seat right here next to me. I look in the mirror. All of a sudden, here comes Scott walking in. He looks at me and looks at Kev, looks at me, and I see him in the mirror laughing. Gets his plate of food. He sits down, just ignores me. He goes, "Hey, Kev, I ever tell you about the time I went to that ECW show and those fucking dicks kicked me out?" I was like, "Oh, man." And then he just fucking turned to me, and we've just been... And he wasn't there that much because he was going through his problems then, so I didn't see him all that often. But then he came to New Japan when I was there. And it was like my second tour. It was 4 weeks. Scott Norton left it for the first two. Scott Hall's coming in the second two. So we get on the bullet train that morning. They put you in the first class car. The place treated you amazing. We'd have to sit in the, your assigned seat. So I'm sitting in my thing. I'm like, there's nobody sitting next to me. I'm like, my fucking luck. Scott Hall's going to sit next to me. All of a sudden he comes walking down the thing. He looks at his ticket, looks at me. He's like, yeah. And the seats like facing each other. He sits down. He goes, they put the two fuck ups together. He goes, "Let me ask you, dude." He's like, "Why are you such a dick to me in New York?" I said, "I was a dick to you, so you were a dick to me." He goes, "I knew it was one of us."
That's awesome.
Wow.
So that was pretty much your end of.
I stayed. Well, I stayed for about a month or so longer. They were putting me, Shane, and Bam Bam back together, and we had to finish one day. It was Bam Bam's first match back. We were going to work with Chronic, so they give us a fucking finish that was it was awful. I mean, the deal was I had to come out and cut a promo saying, "Hey, I got a mystery guy," and out Bam Bam comes. They beat my ass the whole time. I finally tagged Bammer. He comes in. They're supposed to feed him and fucking bump. Well, they're not going to fucking feed him and bump because they don't want to fucking sell for anybody. And so, and they gave us some finish. I forget what it was. It was really, really stupid. The one Eric gave us. I went to Russo and said, "Hey, this is fucking dumb." We came up with something that we thought was better. It might not be. He said, "Okay, you know what? Do that. I'll go tell the truck and all that kind of stuff." We go in the ring. I cut the promo. It goes, "Bam, Bam, we have the match." It was still fucking horrible. The finish gets fucked up. I had to take the top rope off and all that kind of shit. And we did it in the afternoon. I spun the gimmick 3 times.
Right.
Turnbuckle rope came right off. At night I get there, and there's the fucking pyro thing in the way. I'm going, fuck, I didn't want to bang it too hard. I was going to start on fire. So it killed like a minute. That
right.
It was fucked up. But it was fucking thunder. Nobody watched it to begin with. They could have edited it anyway. So we come back, and then going towards the finish, they did some kind of move to me where, kind of like the F5 fucking thing, but they spin you this way. You figure you're going to keep going that way. They spun me, and then the other Brian fucking threw my legs that way, and I came down, and I broke my wrist. We come in the back, and Eric cuts a promo on, there's the 4 of us, fucking Bammer, Brian, and fucking me. Just yells at fucking me. "It's not the finish I gave you. Look at these guys been working here forever. You're fucking yelling at me? Go back out and do it again." Well, my arm's broken. Or I was hurt. Fucking coach taped it up. I went back out. It's a TV company. When it airs, take the promo I already did with Bam Bam walking out, cut it, and then fucking do the rest of the fucking match. I had to go back out 5 minutes later in front of the same people, cut the same promo. Chronic acts surprised that, hey, here goes Bam Bam Bigelow. We didn't know that was going to fucking happen.
Right.
We go out and had a horrible match. They do that, and Eric goes, "You know what I really want from you? You know those crazy bumps you take that looks like it really, really hurts? I want you to take more of strange bumps, like shit on your head, I said, "Well, because it does fucking hurt." If I was in control of myself, it's okay, but not with those retards fucking launching you. And I cracked my wrist, and then I cracked my forearm. I came to TV next week with my arm in a fucking sling and a cast up to here. He started yelling at me again. He goes, "Well, we need you." He goes, Can you cut that lower and still work?" So here's my boss. They were paying me the best money I ever made. I was already like on thin ice because the thing happened with Tammy. And that's just me. My boss is going to tell me, "Cut your cast off and work." you know, and I tore my bicep. I didn't take a fucking day off. Paulie was just like, you must charge on. I was still in that same mode. Like, I'm going to earn my money. I'm going to fucking work. I cut my cast off. Well, I cut it below my elbow. Went and worked. Me and Bam Bam and Shane worked the 6-man, and the next day, me and Bam Bam worked the handicap match against fucking Buck Bagwell. Made no fucking sense, and he beat us. It was hard, and I was the one working the whole time, the way the matches was set up. And then they said, we had like 2 house shows or 3 house shows in Washington afterwards. They said, what do you want to do? I said, well, dude, this hurted bad. Can I? And every night they cut after I worked the first night, Coach cut the cast off and just made a new one, but he didn't set my arm and just put another cast on it. I said, can I at least go home and just get my arm set again because it hurts fucking bad and put in a cast that like is tighter or something? I said, okay, go. I went from Newark Airport. My mom works at the doctor's office. I called my mom, went right to the orthopedic. He set it, put the cast on. I went home, get ready. You know, the next day I got to leave again. So I'm washing my shit. Terry Taylor calls me. He's like, hey, man, like, it's not working out. Well, it's not working out. I said, well, we still got to pay you, you know, for another 180 days. But then that's it. So I just came home and fucking I'm packing my shit. I'm ready to leave. I'll be in Yakima tomorrow. He's like, well, that's what he said. I said, dude, I just cut my fucking cast off. I work with a broken arm. And he goes, well, he asked if you could work. And you said, yeah. He goes, if you would have said, no, I can't work, you know, you would have been hurt on the job. We had to pay you for another 2 years. And now you showed you could work, so why only pay for another 180 days?
That's fucked up.
And he couldn't tell me before that, because if he told me that he would be on him, and he has a fucking wife and kids to support, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, like all the mistakes I made in my life is, as much as I got fucked by other people, there were still fucking my mistakes. It's like I shouldn't have sold fucking Kevin Scott's ribs when I was a kid. I fucking shouldn't have done stuff to fucking Jim Ross. But Eric Bischoff was a fucking jerk off.
Do you think the business is going to turn around at all?
I think it's always gone up and down, right? I mean, there's been times when it sucked. When we were up in WWF, it was supposedly the worst financial state they were ever in. Which you know, I mean, I wasn't on top then, so it wasn't my fault. But it was, and then now, I mean, I guess they have more stuff they're involved with besides just the wrestling. But the houses are worse now than they were when we were there, and it came up after we were, you know, after our run, and it's like that. It keeps going in cycles. It's just you lose fans and, you know, people, and there's only a few of us, like us 4 idiots sitting in this fucking room, that will watch this no matter what goes on because we love it so much. There's only so many people who can just say and sit through the shit, you know, to watch it, to wait till it gets better again. Like, people try to do the ECW thing again. Like, the DVD, you know, did way better than anybody thought it would, but I don't think, but most of those fans are gone.
Yeah, they are.
Growing up and they're on to other things. You know, that's just, they're not sitting there waiting for something to come back because it's, you know, they've moved on in their life.
What was the boys' opinion when, like, with Louis Spicolli dying and everything like that?
You know what's bad about it is, I mean, me and Louis were close long before we got WWF together, and then what happened to him, as hard as it should have hit us, I mean, we were all, you know, crying and sad, and it's still, you know, and it bothers you when you think about him. But as much as, like, right then, all of us, like Robin, Sabu, and myself that were that close to them, should have, you know, let's never do this again. And like previous to him, like Eddie Gilbert helped me out so much, and Buddy Landell called me one day, and, you know, after we lost Eddie in Puerto Rico, that too should have been a wake up call. But as bad as it was, it just, you were like, well, damn, you know, that's horrible. We lost a great friend, but, you know, let's make sure we never take, you know, 1,000 a day anymore. Here, you want 5? You know, it's a sad thing. That's just the way it was. There has to be something that just clicks in you for whatever reason to make you want to stop or not be as stupid.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.